no matter what you guys think you are right now, and no matter what you think you do for a living, every person in this room is going to be in a couple of industries, but one for sure. And it's coming fast, and it's coming soon. And that's called customer service. Every person in this room, no matter what you do, you're going to be in the customer service business. And that's what I'm obsessed with. I'm totally obsessed with where this whole thing is going. Because what I know now is this. 2 years ago when I was here at South by and had 3,000 people following me on Twitter, people were shitting their pants. They're like, it's unbelievable, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Now, lots of people have lots of communities, whether it's 100, a million, it really doesn't matter the number, people listen to you. And that is insane. And first of all, please recognize how special that is. The fact that anybody cares about what you have to say is a huge deal. I promise you, when I walked in earlier, like, that's a big room, I hope it fills. But more importantly, I said to myself, if one person shows up, I'm going to be pumped, because that's one more person than zero. And people need to start taking that mentality. And what I know is this. Because everybody has an audience now, the game is changing dramatically. Because the fact of the matter is this. Everybody has a voice. My brother and mom went to a Mexican restaurant in New York a couple weeks ago, and they called ahead of time, and AJ said, hey, can I get a table in 5 minutes? Come here in 5 minutes? And they said, sure, get there in 5 minutes. They got there in 3 minutes. And they got there, and she's like, oh, it's going to take another 40 minutes. And AJ's like, what the hell? So he whipped out his cell phone to text me he was going to be late, and the hostess crapped her pants, told him to stop, ran back, and next thing he knew, they were seated. Why? I'll tell you why. Because of things like Yelp and things like Twitter. They didn't want anybody to say anything negative about their brand. So, little fun fact. If you leave with anything in Austin, you don't get good service, whip out your phone with purpose. Oh, it's going to be 10 minutes? People get scared. We're all in the customer service business. You know, there's been some talks here at South by, and I've been hearing some things about, you know, people are obsessed with scalability, right? You start brainstorming stuff, and it's like, how does that scale? How does it scale? Blah, 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 all that stuff. And I think it's a massively fascinating thing. And I think it's very important if you want to build a big business. I get it, scale's important. I will not disrespect scale. That would be a huge mistake. However, I'm really curious to why effort is not being talked about more. A lot of people always bust my chops. You know, they roll up after talk or when they see me and they're like, yeah, but Gary, answering all those emails and all that interaction you do, how are you going to scale that? And I'm always like, I'm going to try. You know, I think that people are massively underestimating caring. I really do. I really, really do. I don't give a shit if you build the greatest app of all time and you have great PR. Your product is going to have a problem eventually if you don't give a fuck. And way too many people are obsessed with so many things. And what's really gotten scary to me is I thought it was just startup entrepreneurs in this industry, but now that we're consulting with a lot of companies, the fact of the matter is, real dead and simple, let's not bullshit it anymore. Companies don't give a fuck. They just don't. They don't care about users enough, they just don't. Which is why, when somebody like Zappos gives even a solid fuck, we go crazy. I think that caring is massively underrated. I walked into a client and said, all right, here's what we're going to do. Like, you know, everybody's so silly. Like, how are we going to get more Twitter followers? I'm like, well, can I ask you a bigger question? Why do you want Twitter followers? You know, the problem is they want Twitter followers for one reason. Like 99% of the people that play Twitter, they want to fucking spam them. They want to hit them up with offers. How many people in this room remember Surmise.com? That's why it's fun to go to South by. There's actually hands. Surmise.com is how I built my list. It's how I built my community. When that came out, I lived on it. I typed in Chardonnay, Merlot, Cabernet. People had questions, and I answered them. That's how I won. And I didn't answer them with, oh, funny you should bring up Zinfandel. I just did a show on that. Link. No, I just answered them. Here's the problem, and it's the biggest problem that I see with every business, every startup, every product. Everybody is trying to be a 19-year-old dude. What I mean by that, thank you for getting it. And what I mean by that is everybody's just trying to close too fast. Give it a little time. It's so amazing what the soft sell can do. I'm completely obsessed with the fact that no matter how difficult it is or how tough it might have been, we all love our parents at some level. For me, it's insanely high. Others is different. I get that. But the fact of the matter is, the reason we love our parents is they loved us first. And I really need companies and brands to start paying attention to that. Because all they care about is converting the ROI and the bottom line and the stock price and a couple extra cases of wine or razors, and nobody gives a shit. And that's why they're losing, because we're living in a word-of-mouth world where all of us can activate, and we have unbelievable, not solid, we have ridiculously awesome bullshit detectors. We know. And the fact of the matter is this: people need to start caring or they're going to fucking lose. Thank you. See you next year. I'm very, very passionate about the thank you economy. I think my book sold because of the thank you economy. When Crush It came out, so many people, as a matter of fact, I was trying to tally the numbers before the talk. I almost made more money betting people that Crush It would make the New York Times bestsellers list than what I got in my advance. Because so many people told me that the book was not going to sell because I gave away too much free content. That I didn't hold enough back. That why in the world would they buy the book when every keynote is online, when I'm interacting on Twitter all the time, when I'm answering a shitload of email, thousands of emails a week. They all thought that internet people don't buy books. All these arguments, and the book would not sell. And I knew it would because of the thank you economy. What I knew was people were going to be appreciative for all those hours on Ustream. They were going to thank me for answering those emails. And that's how it works. You have to do good first. That's the only way you're going to convert, because the fact of the matter is somebody else is going to do it now, and they're going to get credit. Because back in the day, when the douchebag gatekeepers like television, newspaper, and radio, and 74 people controlled the story, it was hard to penetrate, and you maybe didn't necessarily get your amazing service or your good shit out there. But now, we all broadcast. And word of mouth connects to good shit, and it travels. And that's the lay of the land. And if you don't start caring about customers and interacting with them, you're going to lose. I walked into this company, and I said, I want you to go on Twitter, and we have to have people sitting here. I don't care if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to reply every single person, pro and con. People are completely underestimating. Thank you and you're welcome. Completely. And that's what we're going to do. And I have these 4 people look at me and go, that's crazy. That's so much work. And I said, all right, let's look up how many times your brand is being talked about. And I replayed it against how many times I was being replied to. And I'm like, you guys are a $500 million to $1 billion company. You have a shitload of people, and you can hide behind a logo and use something like CodeTweet or People Browser. I'm one dude and can't let anybody do it, and I'm out replying you. You guys suck shit. That's what I said. And that didn't go over super well, but it set the tone. And the tone is this. If you're not recognizing the social trends that are going on, you're going to be missing out. I'm completely obsessed. There's so many amazing things going on. How many people here are obsessed with virtual goods from a business standpoint? Raise your hand. Okay, email me. Let's do some business. Geolocation. Yes, Duncan. You know, there's so many fascinating trends going on, and they're coming so hard, and I think that people need to really pay attention because there's enormous opportunity. But if you're not building the business around something you actually care about, and you don't actually care about the people that are going to use your product, I promise you, I don't give a fuck if you're Mark Zuckerberg's cousin, and Daniel Burka designed it, and this guy did that, you're going to lose. You just started.